All right, and we're back after a short break. It's fairly late at night, just checking the stream is working. Yep, audio seems to be okay. Right, so let's talk about where we're at. Last time we finished off level 1 of Andrew Price, that is Blender Gurus, Blender 2.8 tutorial series. So we're starting level 2 over here. And what else? I need to fix all my windows so that I'm not overlapped in OBS. Previous video I was talking about. Is my video actually going, please? Looks like it is. Stats are a bit messed up. Sorry, it looks like it's working. So in the previous video I was talking about how I couldn't get shadows working, and I figured out what it was. And I have a feeling that he mentions it at some point in this series, but maybe I had to look it up last time as well. And that is, if you select the light if you're rendering in Eevee, first of all, so obviously if I switch over to cycles, this shadows work and everything, but because we don't have the CPU power, let alone GPU power to run cycles, we're going to use Eevee. And if you select the light and just the light and go to the light panel and under shadows, if you expand shadows and click contact shadows, then you get your shadow. So now I can hopefully grab this and I can move the shadow about, and that's all good. So that's the only thing I've fiddled with since the last one. So let's carry on with the tutorial series and let's see how far we can get this evening. See if we can make him any bigger. No. Oh well. All right. Let's line everyone up and start playing.
Welcome to the next echelon of donuts. I don't know what that means. This is level 2. You graduated.
Hooray!
You made it. We're going to continue learning the basics of Blender, but getting just a little bit more advanced as well. It's beginner. Of course it's beginner, but, you know, progressing past the basics of the basics. So let's start with some sprinkles, because that is something everybody is dying. You know, I've been reading the hashtags and the trends of the global Twitter, and everyone's just going wild for sprinkles. No, they're not. But let's pretend they are. So we're going to add some sprinkles to our donut. Now, right now
one day I can stream as good as this.
Outline in the top right-hand corner. They're all just kind of like thrown in here. We've got one with the archive, you know, which we created before we did the sculpting and everything, but it's all just kind of thrown in. And if we're going to start adding extra stuff like sprinkles and all this kind of stuff, it's going to get a little bit complicated. So let's just organize it a little bit. So I'm going to select my donut and my icing here, and I'm going to hit M for Mary, or move. It's probably a better one, move. And I'll give it a new collection, donut. There we go. So this little checkbox, by the way, in case you're curious, it'll hide it from both the viewport and the render. So it's like disabling something almost, but keeping it within your scene. And then I guess I'll have one for my plane. We'll call this the.
Why is he making it?
So I just selected the plane, M, new collection,
group, just the donut.
This stuff, I can just rename.
I suppose he's adding sprinkles.
Cam and
collection.
Or lights, camera, act. I don't know. Right.
All right, now I have to actually figure out what he's doing. M, new collection. Okay, I'm going to call that donut. So donut is in the donut collection. Got the archive collection switched off. We've got cam and light, so camera and light. And then we have plane. Oh wait, no, I do have icing just sitting out on its own. It is parented, but what? That's weird. So they can be in different collections even if they're parented like that. That's an unusual way to do it. And then we just rename this one to environment.
So something like that. Okay. What was that? Something just flashed on screen. Cool, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna hide the environment, I'm gonna hide the donut, I'm gonna hide the scene, and we are gonna add in our very first singular sprinkle. So if you look at reference photos of sprinkles, let me pull it up here. ignore my tabs here. I've just been watching some Theo Vaughn. Love that guy. So these are the sprinkles. And you'll notice that, I mean, for one, there's no like uniform, you know, Confederate standard of sprinkles.
Let's make him faster.
There's some that are shiny, some that are dull, but they all seem to have a very similar shape. Just like mostly straight, but with like slightly like wiggles to them. Some are shiny, some are dull. But anyway, that's the kind of overall shape. So you could start with a like a cylinder object to become your sprinkle. But they've got like a rounded edge. So instead, what I'm going to do, I'm going to start with a sphere. So we're going to go Shift A, mesh, and we're going to go UV sphere. And by default, I'm going to drop in this giant looking thing. And we'll set, here's all the size of it. I'm going to go to like 1 millimeter, like really, really, really small. And then for the segments, the rings here, and the resolution of the sphere. That's quite important because this is going to be basically duplicated all over the done like basically like 1,000 times. So any resolution you've got here is just multiplied by how many sprinkles you have. Point is, if you have a high res sprinkle, one single sprinkle, for one, it's only going to be visible in the render. Like, so far away, it's not that detailed. But also, it's going to like drastically increase render time. So I'm going to go with 12 segments and 6 rings. So very, very low res. And that's radius. And there we go. If you bring the donut, you can see how this looks in relation to it. I might as well move this over here. Like that. Just one.
Alright, so got a tiny mix sprinkle.
We'll sprinkle. And there we go.
Copy settings 12.6. Good work.
Looking thing. And we'll set, yeah, for all the size of it, I'm going to go to like 1 millimeter. Like really, really, really small. And then for the segments, the rings here, and then like the resolution of the sphere. That's quite important because this is going to be basically duplicated all over the donut, like basically like 1,000 times. So any resolution you've got here is just multiplied by how many sprinkles you have. Point is, if you have a high res sprinkle, one single sprinkle, for one, it's only going to be visible in the render. Like, so far away, it's not that detailed. But also, it's going to like drastically increase render time. So I'm going to go with 12 segments and 6 rings. So very, very low res. And that's radius. And there we go. If you bring in the donut, you can see how this looks in relation to it. I might as well move this over here. Like that. Just one little sprinkle. The start of a sprinkle. I'm just going front. Oh, hang on, front. Yeah, I should put it on the front actually. That's probably easier too. It's like when I'm working with this thing, I like to like keep my camera like looking down to the front angle, and then I have everything like positioned that way, so I don't get kind of lost in which side view or front view, whatever. Anyway, so I'm just putting some on the left hand side just for whatever, just keep it here, right? Okay, so with my sprinkle here, oh gosh, focus it, I'm back period. Okay, so we want to look elongated, and so what we're going to do that is obviously edit mode with tab, and then while we're in edit mode, I'm going to grab the top half of my vertices here, and you'll notice that you want to select the other side to make sure you're in X-ray mode when you do that. So select the whole top half, and then I feel like to move it, like it would just, yeah, it would be elongated, but it would also be like tapered. Like basically we want to like almost like create like a duplicate, like a middle part of it. So we're going to hit E to extrude, which you remember was the same hotkey that we used to make those like dribbly bits of the icing. So basically kind of like takes that and yeah, like moves it up, but then like adds a space between it. Anyway, yeah,
I want to select this and zoom out. There we go.
Okay, so we've got one like that, and what I can do, because I want to make like that end that is kind of like a reference, of course. It's I mean, it's really nice to find a reference. But yeah, it's like it's rounded, but it's not like as round as it is.
Alright, so what did he do? Tab into edit mode. It grabs. Is it grab this and then extrude? Yeah. Alright, cool.
It's not like a sphere. It's just like it's a hard. Basically, I watched you guys how they did, but it's like they get like piping or like icing, and then you do like long lines on like a baking tray, and then they bake it, and then it just creates like baked icing. And then I believe that's what it is, just like baked icing. Maybe these shiny manufactured ones are maybe different, but yeah, you can make them yourself. Apparently, they're really easy to do. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to scale this along the Z axis. So I hit S and then Z. That's doing the effect that I want it to do. It's just tapering it a bit. Like so. And I'll do the same thing with the bottom one. S Z. And look at that. One singular sprinkle. Like that. And while we're at it, we might as well go into shade smooth. And this is an object mode, of course. Make sure you're not doing it. Great. Now, without donut here, we could, if we wanted to, we could, you know.
Oh, okay. That's weird. Something is going on here. Why am I selecting all of the vertices? Oh, I mean proportional editing mode. Okay. Scale. Scale. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh no. Everything has gone very poorly. Let's just start again. Please to be deleting that. Alright, so I do shift control shift right click to move the cursor, add a UV sphere at 1 millimeter to catch my settings. Good. Now we want to kind of grab it and move it and stay on camera, and then we want Alt Z for X-ray mode. Click that, switch to edit mode, grab that, and in X-ray mode it does actually grab all the vertices. So we can extrude up like so. We can grab that, we can scale that on the Z axis only, and scale that on the Z axis only as well, and then scale up a bit more. Z scaling, yeah, that's good enough. And then tab out of that, and then right click it and shade smooth. Okay, good. So we're learning. That was all very quick.
And duplicate it, and then duplicate it, and rotate it, and etc. etc. But I'm pretty sure the tutorial would be 10 hours long, and I would be receiving death threats from people saying, "How dare you lull me into a tutorial and then hit me with duplication?" So there's a better way to do things. So there is for something like this, you want to use physical.
I should. Yeah, no, it's alright.
Referencing one object and duplicating it over the top of the surface of another object. So that we're basically going to do that. So I'm going to select my icing here, and there's the particle panel right here. I'll move my little camera head out of the way so that we don't block this view. Okay, so I just click like that. I don't know why there's no like new button, like materials is a new button, whatever, but then the particles is a button for like new. I'm sure, but anyway, it's a plus, top right button there, click plus, and I'll add a new particle set. And if you were to hit play, like spacebar, you would see like white dots appearing. So there are two types of particles. There are like emission pads, which are like animated essentially, and you've got hair, which are stacked. So now if I play, you can see nothing happens. So hair is the one we actually want, even though it doesn't look like it. For each one of these strands, we're going to reference that single.
Right, hang on, I need
but anyway, it's a plus, top right button there, click plus, and I'll add a new particle set. And if you were to hit play, like spacebar,
what panel is he on? He's on the particles panel. For that thing, he's going to hit the plus button. I'm going to have hair particles.
you get these like white dots appearing. So there are two types of particles. There are like emission types, which are like animated essentially, and then you've got hair, which are static. So now if I play, you can see nothing happens. So hair is the one we actually want, even though it doesn't look like it. For each one of these strands, we're going to reference that single sprinkle there. So you can do that by going to underneath render, right there, render. It's rendering as a path or a strand, which is great for hair for a character. But in our case, we want to instead render as an object, and then the object that we're going to reference, this instant object, we're going to put this little eyedropper here, and the eyedropper allows you to.
Okay, so render as object, eyedropper. What? Click the sphere. Did it work?
To just basically click any object in your scene, and there we go. Look at that.
Okay, cool. We got some
Yeah,
sprinkles.
little single sprinkles over our donut. So the size of them is defined by this size right here. This is really how you're going to decide. I'm going to bird outside my window, so you can hear that. He's going to decide how, yeah, like really, there's no uniform sprinkle either. Like some are like really like thin and like almost like like little hair particles, like they're so thin, and others are like thick and chunky. So really like make the sprinkle that you feel as suits your needs. Okay, so that's the scale, and there's another setting here, scale randomness, which I normally would use, because by the way, this setting, like the particle settings, what I'm doing here, this is how you make like rocks across a landscape. You just like use this and go, and for this case, scale randomness is perfect because you've got rocks of different sizes. But it's not like shrinking them like just along one axis. It's also like it's scaling them. So sprinkles they're all like the same thickness essentially. So this setting actually doesn't work for us a little bit, but anyway. The main thing I know you're all thinking right now is like they're all facing the same direction, so that's not good. So we need to change the rotation, and for rotation, you need to use advanced settings. Check the box. I don't know. I mean, honestly, in my opinion, it shouldn't even just be an advanced setting because I always use advanced settings because you always need rotation. So anyway, check advanced, and then under rotation, we're going to check that box, click the little drop down, and orientation axis.
Sorry, under. Okay, there's a checkbox for rotation. Weird.
We want to use normal. And it'll still be facing the direction, but it'll be a different direction. And you might think randomize is the one we need right there. But randomize will it'll rotate them on different axes to the point that they're like standing up on top of each other, like facing upwards, which isn't right. What we want is this one, randomize phase. So when I do that, they're staying on like the same rotation, but it's like rotating along that axis, not the other axis. Anyways, there we go. Having said that, I will use a little bit of random amount here because sprinkle.
Something went wrong there. Okay, well, randomized phase of 2.
Like they land on top of melted icing, right? And some of them will land like top on like that, and they'll like maintain a little bit of this rotation. So they won't be like crazy, it won't be like that, but they will have like a little bit of like tilt to them essentially. Great. So all well and good so far. One thing to note though is if we just hide the underlying donut, if we go underneath, you will see that we have sprinkles underneath our icing as well as on top. So this is, in edit mode, you can see it is one solid object, and right now Blender doesn't know that the sprinkles are supposed to go just on the top. So it's just placing them everywhere. So what we want to do is we want to define which part's going to have sprinkles, and we're going to do that in weight paint mode. So with our icing selected, object, weight paint mode. Or by the way, if you want a hotkey, control tab will bring up a pie menu with all of those options up there. So that's kind of handy. So weight paint mode. And when you do this,
missed the key shortcut.
Doesn't know that the sprinkles are supposed to go just on the top. So it's just placing them everywhere. So what we want to do is we want to define which part's going to have the sprinkles, and we're going to do that in weight paint mode. So with our icing selected, object, weight paint mode. Or by the way, if you want a
okay, icing selected, object, weight paint mode.
hotkey, the sprinkles, and we're going to do that in weight paint mode. So with our icing selected, object, weight paint mode. Or by the way, if you want a
okay, so this, sorry, you didn't hit object, you hit object mode. So I want weight paint mode. Thank you.
Hotkey, control tab will bring up a pie menu with all of those options up there. So that's kind of handy. So weight paint mode. And when you do this, it'll go blue. And essentially what you're looking at is, like, what's the name of that movie with the aliens? Aliens vs Predator? The one with the Predator. And it's like heat vision mode. That's what you're looking at. So blue means 0 weight. Now if I just click anywhere on here, you'll see you get like heat paint map. Red means 1, blue means 0, and then these values in between are obviously values in between. So the red values is where the sprinkles are going to appear. So if you try painting, it's like it's going to be very slow, and that's because our particles are turned on. So if we just disable, click that little monitor thing there, it'll just disable it from the viewport. So now when we draw, it's going to be a lot
Okay.
faster.
Alright. I'm just going to do this with the mousey mouse because it's so trivial that we don't need to get the tablet out for this. What's unpaint? Like weight paint. Draw, blur, average, smear. Because I want to pull you back a bit. There we go. That'll do. Close enough.
Okay, so the same hotkey, by the way, as sculpting, F will change the size of your brush. And again, if you want to bring up that tool setting thing here, which probably should be on by default, but for whatever reason it's not, these are like the weight and the strength of your brush. Like you could go like a low strength and just kind of paint. But anyway, default settings are fine. And I'm just going to paint like along the top here, like so. And
see, how do I erase? Sample weight, and then what? Okay. Okay, so that's the thing, right? Oh, that's kind of annoying. What is it? Weight of 0, and then I'll erase you a bit. Sure, that'll do.
I just want to make sure that there is. Oh, that's weird. Why am I allowed to paint right there? Oh, strength. Oh, I was confused as to strength, full strength, but paint a weight of 1. There we go. Yeah, so I want to make sure that there are parts of it that, especially down here, the sprinkles will obviously fall off if it was like on an angle too extreme. So I just want to make sure it's just on the top. Yeah, I'm not going to like go into too much detail for the beginning of the tutorial, but you know, I want the result to look good. And I've seen the past 3 years of people on Twitter adding me into their rendered result that they finished, and I had like all these notes. I'm like, you should fix this. This is too uniform. This is and I was like, well, I should put that in the tutorial, shouldn't I? If everybody's got the same problems, it means it's my fault from the tutorial. So anyway, I'm just trying to make it look nice. Anyway, that's fine, right? I'm just so Control Tab, and I'm going to go back to object mode. So bring back our ice sprinkles, and then the way that we tell the particle system to use that weight paint is by right down here underneath vertex groups. So you can choose a whole bunch of different properties that will be controlled by that, but the one we're looking for is density, and it's group. By the way, if you ever mess up your like your weight paint or for whatever reason you can't find it, it's here, vertex groups. So whenever you start painting, it'll create a new vertex group, and it'll be right here. But if you ever mess up, you can just come.
Alright, I need to actually pay attention to that bit.
Our ice sprinkles, and then the way that we tell the particle system to use that weight paint is by right down here underneath vertex groups. So you can choose a whole bunch of different properties that will be controlled by that, but the one we're looking for is density, and it's group. By the way, if you ever mess up your like your weight paint or for whatever reason you can't find it, it's controlled by that, but the one we're looking for is density, and it's group.
Okay, so vertex groups, density, group.
By the way, if you ever mess up your like your weight paint or for whatever reason you can't find it, it's here, vertex groups. So whenever you start painting, it'll create a new vertex group, and it'll be right here. But if you ever mess up, you can just come to here and then click that little minus button. That'll delete
that worked.
Add a new one. Yeah. Anyways, there you go. So we now have it on top of the icing where it should be. Hooray! We've got some sprinkles. We're gonna get to that in the following part.
I just wanted to see what he said.
If you ever mess up, you can just come to here and then click that little minus button. That'll delete that, and then you can click plus and you can add a new one. Yeah. Anyways.
Vertex group. Okay, so and that's attached to the torus. Why not? Alright, carry on.
There you go. So we now have it on top of the icing where it should be. Hooray! We've got some sprinkles. We're gonna get to that in the following parts. The sprinkle step, it's a little advanced. It's a little, it's not advanced, it's a little involved. So this is gonna be split up over a couple of videos. So in the next part, we will be adding some more variations to our sprinkles, some different colors and different things like that. So go ahead, click here towards that next video, and I will see you there. This tutorial series is brought to you by Polygon. Make better renders faster. Welcome back. We have sprinkles, but they are, well, they look more like Tic Tacs. They're all the same color. And what's the fun of sprinkles if they're not different colors? So let's change the color. So the color of the sprinkle is defined by the material of the single sprinkle that it is referencing. So that is the object mode. This little guy right here. So if we went, to the material panel and then we added a new material, and looking at our donut here, you can see if we made these blue, then hey, look at that, we have blue sprinkles. But that's not gonna help us because they're all the same color. Now, we could duplicate this and make like a whole bunch of different ones with different colors, and that was actually the way I did the first tutorial 3 years ago because I actually thought that was easier for people to follow. But the best way to actually create a randomized color set on your sprinkles like this is to actually do something with the material nodes and get a little bit fancy. So let's at the top here on the top bar, you've got an option which we haven't clicked on yet called shading. Okay, so shading mode is, by the way, these modes, they're just like screen layouts, like these layouts, and then it'll put you into a specific type of, like, this is just a 3D view, but it's put you into look dev mode up here. You go into, like, rendered mode, etc. And then this thing down here, this is nodes for materials, right? So this is, you can find that in shader, editor, object, etc. Anyway, make sure you've got the sprinkle selected, the one that is blue, right? And what we want to do is we want to add in a control which will make it so that, this color here, this blue color, is randomized, depending on which particle it is. So this, by the way, all these settings that you see here, the reason they might look familiar is that they are the exact same settings you see over on the right-hand side. This right-hand side, this bar here, with all the settings, it's just like an easier way to access it, to change these settings. But if you need to get advanced, that's when you jump over to the node view, which is where we are right now, which is, we're going to do some fancy stuff. So, this base color, right? So we could put anything in here, you could put an image texture in, you could do everything. The one we're looking for is a node, by the way, I'm hitting Shift A, and the node under input that I'm looking for is called object info. So I'm going to drag this in, and we've got a number of values here. So the way nodes work is, essentially, if I take like one of these, for example, and I were to put this over here, it would, depending on what this...
Let's actually try and find the sprinkle for starters. There we go. Although, I mean, we really want that. What is this? Is this like the skyboxes? Just there. Alright. Well, bring the donut back in.
This node here actually does. It would take that value. It's like mathematics. It's like taking this value or programming, referencing this value in another place. If I was to take the random value and I was to put that into the base color.
How do I move this little cursor back? Is it Shift C? No? Come on, I still know what I'm doing. Maybe it is Shift C. Alright.
You can see that this happens. All the colors, all the sprinkles are now black and white and various shades in between.
Okay, now I'm a little lost because which node is he looking at?
I don't know here, you can see if we made these blue, then hey, look at that, we have...
Oh, okay, so he's actually added the thing there and made it new, and then he's made it blue there. All right, and now we're in business. Make that a lot smaller. Oh, it's look dev mode, which I don't know, it takes long to render. Look at these shinies. I mean, there's something very wrong there. The side effect of the subsurface scattering.
That's not gonna help us because they're all the same color. Now, we could duplicate this and make like a whole bunch of different ones with different colors, and that was actually the way I did the first tutorial 3 years ago because I actually thought that was easier for people to follow. But the best way to actually create a randomized color set on your sprinkles like this is to actually do something with the material nodes and get a little bit fancy. So let's at the top here on the top bar, you've got an option which we haven't clicked on yet called shading. Okay, so shading mode is, by the way, these modes, they're just like screen layouts, like these layouts, and then they'll put you into a specific type of, like, this is just a 3D view, but it's put you into look dev mode, obviously,
Okay.
like, render mode, etc. And then this thing down here, this is nodes, the node viewer for materials, right? So this is, you can find that in shader editor, and you've got object, etc. Anyway, make sure you've got the sprinkle selected, the one that is blue, right? And what we want to do is we want to add in a control which will make it so that, yeah, this color here, this blue color, is randomized, depending on which particle it is. So this, by the way, all these settings that you see here, the reason they might look familiar is that they're the exact same settings that you see over on the right hand side. This one is here with settings. It's just like an easy way to access it, to change these settings. But if you need to get advanced, that's when you jump over to the node view, which is where we are right now, which is, yeah, we're going to display stuff. So this base color, right? So we could put anything in here. You could put an image texture in, you could do everything. The one we're looking for is a node by the name Shift A, and the node on the input that we're looking for is called object info. So drag this in, and we've got a number of values here. So the way node work is essentially, if I take like one of these, for example, and I'll just put this over here, it would, depending on what this node here actually does.
Okay.
It's like, yeah, it's like mathematics. It's like taking this value and, for example, and I'll put
Object info.
what we're looking for is a node by the name Shift A, and the node on the input that I'm looking for is called object info. So I'm going to drag this in,
Okay.
and we've got a number of values here. So the way node work is essentially, if I take like one, for example, and I'll just put this over here, depending on what this node here actually does, it would take that value. So it's like, yeah, it's like mathematics. It's like taking this value and referencing this value in another place. If I were to take the random value and I were to put that into the base color, you can see that this happens. All the colors, all the sprinkles are now black and white and various shades in between. So this object info node, this random output of that, is basically every time the object is repeated or duplicated or referenced, it's giving a random value between 0 and 1, right? Anywhere along there. It could be like 1, like 0.325, 0.693, whatever. And depending on where it is along there, it's by default it's giving a white value or a black value and a white value. And it's just basically, yeah, it's like a gradient between it. So each of these are matching that. That's one of the things you want. Sprinkles that look like somebody's dead relative's ashes sprinkled on the top. But what we want is something more likely. So what we can do between here, so where it takes the random
Every time.
you can put in Shift A, converter, color ramp. So if we can drop in this color ramp here, put this in here. Nothing will change at the moment. But what this is doing is it's taking 0, 1 and it's now transforming that across this gradient. And this gradient here can be whatever colors or whatever look we actually want. So if I made this black value here and I change this to be orange, you can see we have this. So as you can guess, the next step is like how do you want your sprinkles to look and then how do you want to set this up. So
Alright, so let's see if we can find that color. Shadow, what did I see? This is the thing, it's like I miss the many of these things are in.
sprinkles that look like somebody's dead relative's ashes sprinkled on the top. But what we want is something more likely. So what we can do between here, so where it takes the random value and 0 to 1, is we can put in Shift A, converter, color ramp.
A converter, okay.
Nothing will change at the moment. What this is doing is it's taking 0 to 1 and it's now transforming that across this gradient. And this gradient here can be whatever colors or whatever look we actually want. So if I made this black value here and I change this to be orange, you can see we have this. So as you can guess, the next step is like how do you want your sprinkles to look and then how do you want to set this up. So in my case, I'm going to go with a sort of a pastel themed color scheme. I'm going to go with like 5 different sprinkle color sets. So let's go like a blue color like this, and then I'm going to go a purple color, and then I'm going to go a hot pink color. And by the way, this is all referencing like stuff that I found on the World Wide Web.
Let's check if we can do this.
I found like some like donut sprinkle looks that I like, and I decided to copy kind of like the color scheme. But anyway, it's basically what I'm doing now. So let's add another one. I'm going to make this one yellow, and the last one is going to be white. Okay, great. So look at that. We now have looking at a donut. We have those sprinkles. Let's see how it goes for them.
Alright, now I actually have to.
Now, we'll see. We'll link in the description. But I found like some
Attention again.
and then I'm going to go a purple color scheme. How do you want your sprinkles to look, and then how do you want to set this up. So in my case, I'm going to go with a
Oh, there's a little plus
color scheme.
button
I'm going to go with like
next
5
to
different
it.
sprinkle color sets. So let's go like a blue color like this, and then I'm going to go a purple color, and then I'm going to go a hot pink color. And by the way, this is all referencing like stuff that I found on the World Wide Web. I've got a Pinterest board, I'll put a link in the description. But I found like some like donut sprinkle looks that I like, and I decided to copy kind of like the color scheme. But anyway, it's basically what I'm doing now. So let's add another one. I'm going to make this one yellow, and the last one is going to be white. Okay, great. So look at that. We now have looking at a donut. We have those sprinkles. Let's see how it goes for them. We have those sprinkles, and they all have those colors. Now, one problem, and that is that it hasn't just assigned these colors, it's also assigned every value in between. So it's also giving us a value like somewhere between pink and yellow. Like some of these sprinkles are going to be that color. And that's because this is a gradient and there's values in between it. So what we want to do is we want to change the gradient type. So instead of being linear, we want it to be a constant interpolation. So if I set that, now you can see there's only, it's basically now binary, right? It's either on or off. It's not a value in between it, and that's perfect. That is exactly what we want. So you can see that it's the way it works is it's like the distance after the marker in between that and the next marker is that color. So this white value currently has no contribution. So it's going to move these along a little bit like so. Like that. You can also see very quickly, like you can change the color scheme of your sprinkles. You want more yellow ones or more hot pink ones or whatever. It's just a really, it's an easy way to actually like change the color scheme of the sprinkles. It's kind of cool once you set this up. Like, I didn't want to do this for like my tutorial 3 years ago. I was like, oh no, like nodes and random setting and color ramps too advanced. But then the feedback I got from that tutorial when I did a survey, everyone was like, why didn't you use the random set with color ramp? I'm like, how did you know that was a thing? I thought that was too advanced. But anyways, so there we go. We now have different colors. Yay, across the whole thing. You know, we won't put this into the base color because everything else like the roughness and all that kind of thing, that's going to be the same. Like those values across sprinkles are not going to change. It's really just the colors of the sprinkles. Speaking of which, by the way, we should probably increase the roughness of the sprinkles so they're a little bit more like chalk looking because that's kind of what a lot of sprinkles look like. This is some of those are shiny, so it's really up to you if you want to go for a shiny sprinkle or a chalkish looking sprinkle. But that's going to do it for that. All right, now.
Alright, yes, we wanted chalkish or shiny sprinkle. We want shiny sprinkles, I think. Everybody would love a shiny sprinkle. That's right, this should actually stay at 2.5 and roughness is cranked down fairly low so that the shiny boys. Yep, delightfully sprinkly.
You can see the next problem is that they're all the exact same size, right? And obviously sprinkles no two sprinkles are the same, right? They're all unique little special snowflakes. Some of them are a little bit bendy, some of them are like short and fat, and some of them are like almost nothing. So that's what we want to create. Now, as I mentioned, there is, we can't use that scale randomness value. Crap, I just lost it. Oh my gosh. That's what happens when you use a version of Blender which is experimental. It crashed on me, so that was fun. So let me pause the recording while I redo all that. Yay! Okay, so as I was saying, now that I've caught up and redone everything, we can't change this to scale randomness value.
Save it.
Exact same thing they made because it changes the thickness of the sprinkles, and that's not good. So really what we want is we want to have these sprinkles they just have like different heights to them, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my sprinkle here, and I'm in layouts, edit, object mode, I'm going to duplicate it, and this is going to be another sprinkle. And I'm going to go into toggle X-ray mode so I can select the whole thing, and I'm going to make this one twice as long, like so. Okay. Now when you do this, you come back to your version of here, and nothing can change. And the reason, some people figure it out, quite obvious, is that it's still referencing the original object. It's still referencing this
Okay, so
single object here. But you can choose to instead.
okay, here's okay. Let's see if we can duplicate this. It's Shift D for duplicate. Tab for edit. Grab that, and make it no. Okay, we need X-ray mode. Grab the vertices and make them longer. I mean, I feel like that might be a bit too long. So tab out of that, tab into that, grab these ones and move them up. tab back out and front view please. You know what, that's fine. Carry on.
Just a single object, you can reference an entire collection of objects, and that is what we're going to do. So I'm going to select my, first of all, let's give this a name. So I'm going to F2, and I'll call this sprinkle short, and I'll call this sprinkle long, okay, and I'm selecting both of them, and I'm going to branding collection. What do we call it? Really hard to know what's going to happen next. So, down here, collections,
yeah, I think
and then
naming
so
these is
randomly from one of those two things.
pretty much, but I mean, here's expert.
We've got medium one, we've also got some medium ones. So
Long
let's
sprinkle short, very consistent.
Let's do that again, right back. Yes, I think the valuable lesson, always save. Also, I will say that I'm using an experimental, it's very likely to crash this often. Anyways, as I was saying, there are some bendy ones, so I'm going to duplicate this guy, and I am going to, create like some bendy parts. So I'm just like, oh, I should definitely explain why I just did that, right? So Control R is going to allow us to create a loop cut, right? Control R, and then when you click, so first we get that like outline, and I'll show you where the loop is going to go. That's basically adding detail. That's what the best one for loop is. And if I scroll wheel, I can increase the number of loops, right? This is like some very basic modeling here. I just scroll it up to give me like 2 loops, and I just click, and then it allows you where you want to place them, and I just right click, it'll just place them right in the default middle area. And then I've got, a bendy sprinkle looking thing, right? And then I'll do the same thing. I'll duplicate my medium one here as well. I'll save as I go. Very important. The other thing, by the way, is just like extrude up.
Right, so let's see, what was that as? Am I in X-ray mode? I can't even tell. I need to be in that. Yeah. Okay. So let's see. We wanted to L for loop cut. No. All right. Well.
Place right in the default middle area. And then I've got form loop is, and if I scroll wheel, I outline shows you where the loop is going. Well, I am going to, create like some bendy parts. So I'm just like, oh, I'll save. Also, I will say that I'm using experimental build. It's very replicable to crash this often. Anyways, as I was saying, there are some bendy ones. So I'm going to duplicate this guy, and I am going to, create like some bendy parts. So I'm just like, oh, I should definitely explain why I just did that, right? So Control R is going to allow us to create a loop cut, right? Control R, and then when you click, so first of all, you get that like outline shows you where the loop is going to go. That's basically adding detail. That's what the best form for loop is. And if I scroll wheel, I can increase the number of loops, right? So this is like some very basic modeling here. I just scroll it up to give me like 2 loops, and then I just click, and then it allows you where you want to place them, and just right click, it'll just place them right in the default middle area. And then I've got, a bendy sprinkle looking thing, right? And then I'll do the same thing. I'll duplicate my medium one here as well. I should save as I go. Very important. The other thing, by the way, is just like extrude up, and every time you extrude it, it's going to create one of those loop cuts. It's the exact same way, exact same thing, it's just different ways of doing it essentially. That's kind of like a little bit too wormy looking, right? Yeah. It's kind of cool. And my apologies that this add-on and all crashes and everything, but sometimes I'm showing you why I'm pushing, and other times I'm not, and my apologies, but that's, we got to fix that out. It's really bugging me. It just turns itself off randomly. Anyway, look at this, we got little squiggly worms and stuff all over it. One thing to know as well is like something like really sticking out there. And part of the reason for this is that, I haven't got turned on the origin points. We'll actually show you here. The origin, that little dot there is the point at which it is attaching itself to the top of the icing there. So that being where it is, it's probably one of the best places, it's probably in the middle of it. And you can see all of them have problems with that. So if I right click after selecting all of them, and I select set origin to geometry, it's going to basically place it in the center of all of those objects. And then we come back, just see it a little bit more improved than it is.
Alright, so another important shortcut there.
And you can see all of them have.
I need his little cheat sheet.
And I select set origin to geometry, it's going to basically place it in the center of all of those objects. And then we come back. So that being where it is, it's probably one of the best places, it's probably in the middle of it. And you can see all of them have problems with that. So if I right click after selecting all of them, and I select set origin to geometry, it's going to basically place it in the center of all of those objects. And then we come back, you see it a little bit more improved than it is. One thing people have with the previous tutorial is that you've got intersection, right?
Yeah,
particles. And unfortunately, there is just no good way to fix that. The particle system in Blender is a little old and it just doesn't have this ability yet. You really want to be able to like read the shape of the mesh and then detect when meshes intersect. It should be
Alright, you all in the sprinkles group. Let's add you to the donut. Let's grab the icing. I'm going to leave X-ray on in that mode, and then I can switch to that one with it off. And then for our particle system, we can have, we'll change that from group. Nope. It's not that one. It's particle settings.
Yeah, we'll do that. The current version doesn't do it. I think the plan is for 2.83 or 2.4, something like that, in rolling particle nodes, which should hopefully have this feature. And a lot more other things. But for now, really my best advice is if you see things that are intersecting and you're not happy with how it looks, you can change the seed here. The seed is just like a random value. Like every new seed now has detected. So that being where it is, it's probably one of the best places, it's probably in the middle of it. And you can see all of them have problems with that. So if I right click after selecting all of them and I select set origin to geometry, it's going to basically place it in the center of all those objects. And then we come back, you see it's a little bit more improved than it is.
Alright, so I've missed the part and I don't want to scrub the video to try and find it. Source. I want. No? Okay. Render. That's right. From not sprinkle short, but render as collection. Select sprinkles. And then do we have all the kinds of sprinkles, more or less?
From what people had with the previous tutorial was that you've got intersection, right? Particles that intersecting on particles. And unfortunately, there is just no good way to fix that. Particle system in Blender is a little old and it doesn't have this ability yet. You really want to be able to like read the shape of the mesh and detect when meshes intersect. You should be able to do that. The current version doesn't do it. I think the plan is for 2.83 or 2.4, something like that, in rolling particle nodes, which should hopefully have this feature. And a lot more other things. But for now, really my best advice is if you see things that are intersecting and you're not happy with how it looks, you can change the seed here. The seed is just like a random value. Like every new seed will be a different mix, a different version of it. So I find a seed that looks the best. And this will kind of like doing it now kind of a little bit preemptive when it comes to rendering. That's really when you want to check like the intersection of things and choose your seed value. But just want to get that head up. I know a lot of people have that question like, how do I fix it? Look terrible. So anyway. Now the other thing I want to do is I want to add just a few spheres to it because whilst looking at fix it, look terrible. So anyway. Now the other thing I want to do is
alright, let's try and fix up some of our stuff. We've got rotation. We have too many of them. That's interesting that they're changing like blocks. And that they're axis aligned. That's very, very weird. 444, we can change the seed. You know what, that looks pretty good. I'm liking that so far.
Add a few spheres to it because I was looking at all the sprinkles there.
And you know what, I'm gonna
little balls, like almost like marbles. Like
go with this plan here.
Just kind of like that. What do we call it? Like that, like old pastel, like old fashioned. It's just like crushed up kind of thing. Like you get a lot of different sprinkles. But anyways, I just want to add some balls. So
add a
I'm
ball.
going to right here inside my sprinkles collection. I'm going to add a new UV sphere. And of course, it's going to be way too big and way too high res. So I want to be high res probably than the sprinkles. It's going to be a little bit bigger, but not too high res. Just something like that. And then I'll turn down the size to be, say, 5 millimeters. No, too big. Let's go 3. Something like that. Just
Alright, what is he?
I'll turn down the size to be
16.8.
No, too big. Let's go 3. Something like that. That's actually no before. Okay, and I'm going to right click that and shade smooth so it is smooth. And it's not using the current material over here, which is good because I just want to get one single color. It's a very simple new material, and the color is just going to be like a blue, saturated, a little bit more saturated color, and it's actually quite shiny. Like the roughness would be quite low on this. So I think the reason this has become popular in decorating and everything is the same reason that we'll get to this. It's the same reason that like it's actually art aesthetic. It's like there's a technique which I'm still trying to learn myself, but it's like you don't want to have just like repetitive uniform detail everywhere because it just looks predictable and it just looks flat and boring and dull. If you can have like big elements, medium-sized elements, and small elements, they're placed in like chaotic areas can look more interesting. So I believe that's the purpose of having some cakes, and it works. But not right now. It looks like it's been invaded by some nanoparticles or something. So the problem is that it is it's picking from our sprinkles collection here. It's picking them evenly, right? It's just plucking them from this collection, and they all have the same kind of relative importance or priority. But there's a setting here called use count. And if you enable this in the drop down, you'll see you get a count value next to each of the sprinkle names. There's no way to say like reduce the importance of this, but you can increase the importance of everything else. So essentially, for everything other than the sphere, I want to increase the amounts of them. So for the let's say like medium sprinkles, I'll go 60, 60.
Alright, let's fix up the material here before we get too nuts. Is it this one is material? Base color. Well, we just changed the base color and the roughness. So we see. I'd love to do like metallic. I'd make like there's sort of Cacharel things. But without a decent renderer, it's not going to look that great. I don't think it makes any sense to have a partway value between that subsurface color, base color. So I could go with his same thing, and you know what? Just to make the tutorial easy, and I more or less go with that. I had a pretty good color actually. Let's just undo that back to that color. All right, that'll do. And now let's see that one, then particles, and then somewhere in this list, yeah, we can just call it sphere. Is collections count? Use count. Okay, and then 100 of everything basically, and then we'll have like 4, 8. Something is horribly wrong with the randomization if that's what's occurred. I wonder why it's doing that. I don't understand what that setting does, but why is he going to explain it?
No. Now, like, this will be like longer sprinkles will be less common than the medium ones. Same with the short ones. Like, it'll be less.
That's weird.
And so these long ones as well. And then finally, just a sphere. You can see we've now got like just 3 spheres left because of the importance of them being so small.
Make this bigger so I can actually see what he's doing.
So these long ones, essentially for everything next to each of the sprinkle names. Now, there's no way to say like,
okay, whole collection, object scale, pick random, instance collection. So, I mean, I don't understand. Global coordinates. Interesting. Pick random. Oh. That's unusual. I mean, it works way better. There's a seed that's not completely hideous. I should probably look at it from the camera perspective, and we can turn off visibility of this thing. $86.
Like reduce the importance of this, but you can increase the importance of everything else. So essentially,
faster again.
Other than the sphere, I want to increase the amounts of them. So for the, let's say like medium sprinkles, I'll go 60, 60. The long ones, you can also like tweak it, because now like they're probably like longer sprinkles are probably less common than the medium ones. Same with the short ones, like they'll be less common than the medium ones as well. Most of them will be medium, and some of these long ones as well. And then finally just a sphere. You can see we've now got like just 3 spheres left because of the importance of them being so small. And that's basically it. Let's just cycle through this a little bit. Look at other segments. See here. Every time you see like you might get like 3 or 4 or something like that here on it. I might actually increase these. I think the spheres is a little bit too underplayed right now. With 2 spheres. No, not too much. I don't know. You can play with it yourself and just, as I said, make the sprinkles that you want to see. Be the sprinkles that you want to see in the world. All right, let's bring back the environment. Let's just see how that looks. There you go, guys. That's the sprinkles. The amount of sprinkles, that's probably the other really big one, is the number on top there. And there's no right and wrong answer. It's really like some don't sound like sprinkles and they're like really big and like chunky, right? Well, not that chunky, but like slugs. But that's one aesthetic. Or you can go like the other direction and go like loads of sprinkles and then make it small. Not that small. You gotta go right back. But play with it and just, this is where you can be creative and artistic and find a look that you like and choose the color you like and all that thing. It's a lot of fun. So go ahead and join me in the next video because we have finished the sprinkles. We're going to there. This tutorial series is brought to you by Paint. Make better renders faster. Welcome back to the donut project that keeps
medium
sprinkles done. And now we're going to do some texture painting on our donut because if we were to try out our donut in render view mode, we can see it looks like a donut. Our icing here. We just have a look at our donut in render view mode. We can see it looks like a donut. It definitely, our brain recognizes it as such, but it looks a little bit fake, a little bit cartoonish. And that's because if you look at real reference photos of donuts, you'll see they're not one solid color, right? They are, darkish brown color, but as we mentioned, when it sits in the fat and it's like in the deep fryer and it's fluting, part of this level is getting cooked less. So that part is always a little bit whiter. So it always has this like white ring around the donut. So as always, there's 100 ways you can do something. I know I read the comments, people say like, oh, why did you do it this way? Why did you do it this way? Well, you can do things any number of ways. We could do like a gradient effect right now, and that would be short and sweet. That's how I made my original image. I did that with like simple gradient. But this is an opportunity to learn a valuable part of Blender, which you'll probably want to use in the future for a project, and that is texture painting. So we want to actually paint on our mesh here. So there is a texture paint feature in Blender. So up here, the top, texture paint, right? Now, to talk about texture painting, you also have to talk about a separate step, which we actually don't need to do for our donut in this case, and that is UV unwrapping. If you go to the UV editor up here, this will show you, for your mesh, if you select all your vertices of the mesh, it will show you your UVs. Now, UVs are, that's what I'm saying UVs are, with this image here, this is chocolate. It's like, if you have a 3D mesh, in order for paint to be applied to it, you're actually painting onto a 2D image. So the software has to know, how is that 2D image going to wrap around a 3D mesh? And that is what UV unwrapping is. Now, the reason I say we don't need to know it for this step is that our mesh is actually already UV unwrapped, because when we added in, we went mesh and we added in for us in part 1, Blender already UV unwrapped it for us. So it's already pretty well good to go. Now, when we do our coffee cup in the next level, we mold our own coffee cup, we're actually going to UV unwrap it ourselves then, but for now, it's already UV unwrapped. The reason I do mention this though, is that looking at the squares of our donut here, like if it's rising up the wall, the clipping is always way too low. The squares on our donut are obviously like square shaped, whereas over here they are rectangular, which would mean if we were to paint over here, essentially we would get like a stretched image look over there if we were to paint on a square image. However, if we were to start with an image which was rectangular, like stretched like that way, so it's like that, for example, then don't do this, just demonstrate. Then it would be right. Okay, so anyways, all this is like a prerequisite to say now we go to texture paint mode. The first thing we need to do is define the size of our image here, and this is where we're going to click new at the top, new image, and this is where we're going to set it up to be a rectangular image.
Alright, so click that, hit texture paint. Where's the new image?
First thing we need to do is define the size of our image here, and this is where we're going to click new at the top, new
donut texture.
Image, and this is where we're going to set it up to be a rectangular image. So for the width, I want it to be twice as long as the height. So you could get our calculator and type it in. However, there's a little feature in Blender, and that's that you can do math inside any text box. So if I hit *2, it's going to multiply that value by 2. I hit enter, it's another math for us. Okay? And I just need to give this image a name. So I'll call it donut texture tutorial, and I'm going to hit OK. And now it has created a rectangular image. Okay. Now you can see that our donut here is purple and our texture is black. That's because they're not synced. If it was synced properly, the donut would be black. In fact, anytime you see purple or pink color in Blender, like usually that means, unless you set it up yourself, but usually that means that it's missing a texture. So purple or pink, think of that as like a warning sign that Blender is looking for something that it can't find. So this is not good. Now the reason it's doing that is because it doesn't have any image that we're painting onto in our material over here. So you remember that we set up the base color for our donuts right here, just be one single solid color. So what we want to do is we want to swap that out to be an image. So if we went to our shading tab, which you remember we went when we were doing the sprinkles, right here we want to replace this with an image. So I'm going to add an image node. So Shift A, and I'm going to go input, nope, I'm going to go texture, image, texture. Okay, so I add this in, and the way I want to do is take yellow. This is like a short little tip when you're working with nodes. Generally speaking, one color only goes into another color. So this is the color, you'll see the base color. Then the image texture, we're going to select the texture that we just created, donut texture drop.
Alright, okay. Image texture. And donut texture. I think that worked.
So now if you go back to our texture paint tab, you should see that they would be linked. And if I was to paint over here, just do a quick little cross it, you'll see we're now painting on our map over here. And likewise, we can actually paint over on this side as well, and we'll paint onto our mesh.
Okay.
Before we start painting, it's a good idea to actually save our image. So save our one file, which by the way, good idea to do that. We did have to do that. The image actually isn't saved with it. This image right now is stored in kind of like a temporary space. And if you do a quick one, you would lose any painting that you've done. So you need to save your images separately to
that
your
is
image, save
remarkably silly.
Yeah, PNG, whatever, save it, and there we go. So when you see a
Let me do that.
this image right now is stored in kind of like a temporary space. And if you do a quick one, you would lose any painting that you've done. So you need to save your images separately to your one file. So I'm going to go image, save as.
Image, okay, it's got a little star. Purchase Blender, donut texture, save as image. Okay, so it's saved.
we'll just call this, PNG, whatever, save it, and there we go. So when you see a star next to the image, and you're supposed to paint it here, it means you haven't saved the image yet. So if you do a quick one, you're going to lose any changes you've done. So a quick shortcut is to Shift S whilst your cursor. Of course it doesn't work. Hold S. There you go. That's a hotkey for saving the image over here, so you can quickly do that. Anyways, alright, so the first thing I want to do is I want to give just a base color of my donut. So if I hit the N key, let me make sure that's turned on, so you can see what I'm pressing. N will bring up the panel here, and I'm just going to set the donut color like this.
Man. I've been looking for the toggle for that. It's N.
The white stuff already hanging out, now turn off the continuous thing. Anyway, so I'm just going to paint over the top of it. Donut color N key. Let me turn on, make sure that's turned on, so you can see what I'm pressing. N will bring up the panel here, and I'm just going to set the donut color like this. It's a fill tool, but it's going to collide with the white stuff already hanging out, now turn off the continuous thing. Anyway, so I'm just going to paint over the top of it. So let's go strength of 1, and hey, why have I got some sort of lazy thing? Okay, I've got smooth stroke turned on. I guess that would be a hotkey that I pushed while I was trying to figure out how to save. I guess that was smooth stroke. I didn't see that before. Anyways, okay, solid.
Let's make it donut colored.
Solid paint over it, okay. I pushed while I was trying to figure out how to save. This thing turned on. Okay, I've got smooth stroke turned on. I guess that would be a hotkey that I pushed while I was trying to figure out how to
Alright, we are delightfully donutty. Stroke. No. Oh, I'm curious. Strength is not at 1. Alright, we are at maximum donut.
I guess that was smooth stroke. I've never seen that before. Anyways, okay, solid paint over it. Okay, now we're going to do that little white ring around it. And gosh, every area of line to change the cookie. It's so annoying. Anyways, okay, so I'm going to set color white now. Actually, I want to keep my color, my color there. If I hit X, which is the same hotkey as in Photoshop, it'll flip between the two colors in your palette. So it's just in. So I'm going to set this one to white, and I want to use a low strength of like 0.3, 0.2, something like that. Because we don't want this white to be like blinding. Otherwise, it'll look like it's just like painted out there really deliberately. So something subtle. And you'll notice we can paint both in 2D mode, and you can paint also on the 3D mode. So it'll update both of them interactively. It'll like sync them together. Now, one thing to note is if we continue this around here, it doesn't have to run a mess. Especially it's going to be really.
Yeah, this one
it's painted, right?
is one that I want the tablet for. So try this out. Everything looks good.
Because it's a continuous stroke. If you've got stylus, you can use pen pressure and it's like a little bit better. But even regardless of that, it helps to use a texture to throw some extra detail in there that you're going to miss with just a brush. So you can use a texture mask. You think we use texture, by the way. Texture will actually use the color of the text that you put in there, which isn't what we want. We want to use our original colors here. We want to add like a stencil effect to it, and that's what texture mask does. I'm going to use one myself. So we're clicking on new again. Down here,
right, so we're already
we want to select from brush mask texture, and then from the type, because of the default set you can put any image in there, we're going to use clouds. So this is a procedurally generated texture that comes with Blender. It's the most common type of procedural texture you use a lot, basically. So if we paint now, you'll see we get a very faint, I just turn this up just so you can see it. You can see we get a texture painted over it now. And you'll notice that the more you paint, it still covers it up, but it's still kind of keeps the same like tile to it. A lot, basically. So if we paint now, you'll see we get a very faint, I'll just turn this up just so you can see it. You can see we get a texture painted over it now. And you'll notice that
texture mask. How did you do that?
Select from brush mask texture, and then from the type, because of the default set you can put any image in there, we're going to use clouds. So this is a procedural generated texture that comes with Blender. It's the most common type of procedural texture you use a lot, basically. So if we paint now, you'll see we get a very faint, I'll just turn this up just so you can see it. You can see we get a texture painted over it now. And you'll notice that is more select from brush mask texture, and then from the type, because of the default set you can put any image in there, we're going to use clouds. So this is a procedurally generated texture. So we're clicking on new texture, and then down here, add like a stencil effect to it, and that's what texture mask does. I'm going to use one of myself. So we're clicking on new texture, and then down here, very bottom, there's a little texture panel. And at the top, we want to select from brush mask texture, and then from the type, because of the default set you can put any image in there, we're going to use clouds. So this is a procedurally generated texture that comes with Blender.
Okay, so that's the got it. This is what texture we're editing, and it's brush mask, and then type clouds. Okay. Is that looking sufficiently cloudy? It's looking pretty good. Maybe I want to scale it down a bit.
It's the most common type of procedural texture you use a lot, basically. So if we paint now, you'll see we get a very faint, I'll just turn this up just so you can see it. You can see we get a texture painted over now. And you'll notice that the more you paint, it still covers it up, but it still kind of keeps the same like tile to it. So actually what I like to do is change the mapping to random. And then like every time you press it, it'll be like a new constellation of that brush, and it'll look a little bit just more perfect what I want it for. That's
definitely something
like a new kind of rotation of that brush, and it'll look a little bit better. So actually what I like to do is change the mapping to random. And then like every time you press it, it'll be like a new kind of rotation of that brush, and it'll look a little bit better. Just more perfect what I want it for. Alright, let's turn down the strength again, and let's just do some painting. Also, we can change the size of the brush, the size of the cloud, so it's a little bit more varied. There we go. Cool. Right, now one thing to note, by the way, this is like a scene of the texture. So if I was painting in the 2D space over here, like if I was painting across there like that, you can see we get a scene. And that's because when you're painting in the 3D space, it won't continue a stroke over to the other side, right? It'll just place it where you put it. But if you draw on the 3D model, then it will continue across that side there. So when you come to like a scene, you just make sure that you are drawing on the 3D space, not the 2D space. Anyway, yeah, we just continue around it. This is the sort of thing that could take 5 seconds, 5 minutes, 5 hours, depending on how detailed you want to go. But most of it's going to be covered up with icing. This is the kind of thing, it's the kind of detail that you'll notice if it's not there. But if it is there, you might not notice it. You know what I mean? It's like when you're watching a movie, right? Nobody notices the audio of a movie unless it's bad. That's the only time anyone notices or talks to an audio engineer is when it's a terrible job. It's kind of the same thing here. It's like it's something that if it wasn't on the donut, it might look people go like, the donut looks fake, and they won't know why. But if it's there, they won't notice it, but they'll just say, looks great. So anyways, that's kind of what we're going for. Because I've got the original donut texture as that thing. If I hit X, and it's kind of like I'm erasing using the white parts, so that can be handy as well. Also, looking at a reference, why not, since we've got the brush out and everything ready, do some painting to the actual dark parts of the donut, because it's not constant color on the donut itself either. Like, it might look that way, but the more you do art and the more you 3D, you'll have development eye for noticing things, and there's no constant uniform color in the real world pretty much ever. It just doesn't exist. There's always fluctuations, slight variations, especially with something like this. So, yeah, I'm going to use white brush, set this to black though, and we could paint like this, but it's going to be dark. What I want to do though is set it to overlay, blend type to overlay, and then what we'll do is we'll kind of retain the original color of the donut, but it'll just make it a little bit darker, a little bit hotter, which is kind of what I want. Now, obviously, most of this is going to be covered up with icing, so don't go overboard, spending too long detailing the donut that's not even visible. Well, a little bit, especially near the front, near the camera. That's where my camera is at the front there. Can definitely come in handy. Also, we should probably do some of this around the around the base of it as well. We'll go to the inside of the donuts. Let's just do a little bit around here. As you can tell, I'm doing this very rough. But it's it's like, why not, right? It's the sort of thing. This is the thing you know when you see a lot. Is like there are things that you know could improve something, but it just might work, right? So if I didn't have the texture paint tool already open and ready to go, I probably wouldn't bother going to the trouble of painting on the donut. But since it's here and already set up, we might as well add a detail because it's going to help us. Let's flop this around, and let's just do some white inside the donut here as well. This is really not going to be that visible by the camera, but a little bit too well, and just some, that kind of looks like a bagel. It really looks like a bagel. That's right. They are quite similar, I guess. All right, so that is going to do it for the texture. That's probably fine as it is. Yeah, just erase some of this. It's looking a little too hot, a little too white. That's good. So make sure you save your image when you're finished. Image save. It's done. And
all right, I'm just going to pause in there so I can finish off painting. Very subtle effect. I think my strength is not necessarily high enough, particularly for using the tablet. Come up a bit more. Because obviously it's pressure sensitive, so I can be a bit more ginger when I don't need that much more whiteness. Obviously having the that's useless. Yeah, the not being in sort of in the scene for lighting and stuff. It makes it a bit hard to tell in some of these bits that are shadows, but as Andrew says, it's not like anyone's really going to notice, and you don't want to spend too much time on like some of these more minor details. Right, and so finally, have I lost my donut color in all this? I think I have. That's fine. We'll have like a ready thing, and then I'll keep that texture and blend with overlay. Make this much bigger, and let's see if this. I feel like I want to come over to orange a bit more. Bring up the strength. Overlay's not doing it for me. Really? Did he use overlay? Because that's green. Why is my donut going green? We've made a moldy donut. Let's just go with mix with more of the donut color from overhead. Well, that's that's going to look. There's a shift, bottom orthographic control. Just paint over that with that same color. That's a bit more of a brownie color, but what did he use?
A little bit too well, and this around, and let's just do some white inside. It's like, why not, right? It's the sort of thing. This is the thing you know when you do CG a lot. Is like there are things that you know could improve something, but it just might work, right? So if I didn't have the texture paint tool already open and ready to go, I probably wouldn't bother going to the trouble of painting on the donut. But since it's here and it's already set up, we might as well add a detail because it's going to help us. Anyway.
Blend overlay with black, really? Is that what he did? Alright, that just darkens it up. Alright. Simple as that. I mean, it's looking pretty donut-y to me. Let's darken up some more sections. Across that, mix that, and then we'll fix up that bit that we've got the wrong color on it a bit. It's going to be under the icing, no one cares. All right, I think we're done there. We'll turn the icing back on and have a little peekaboo. Something pretty reasonable.
Swap this around, and let's just do some white inside donut here as well. This is really going to be exactly the camera, but a little bit too well, and just some, that kind of looks like a bagel. It actually really looks like a bagel, that's right. They are white and white, yes. All right, so that is going to do it for the texture. That's probably fine as it is. Yeah, just erase some of this. It's looking a little too hot, a little too white. That's good. So make sure you save your image when you're finished. Image save. It's done. And now if we go to layout mode, let's bring back our icing. And let's have a look at this. Actually, no, not the icing. Probably, yeah. There you go. You should be able to see the texture now painted onto your donut. And if you don't, make sure that your shading, inside your shading settings, you do have the correct image of the same one you painted on, and you save is going into your base color. And by the way, you probably know that, like, we put this into the base color, but now that you understand it, you can probably understand we can also paint onto the roughness input. You can do it just by doing a separate text paint and putting that into the roughness. Or we can paint onto other property levels. So this is just, base painting, but you can paint and create a really layered material. That's the kind of thing that substance painters typically do, because you can do color and roughness and all those things in the same brush setting. You can create really interesting things. But anyways, that's going to do it for our texture paint. So go ahead and click here, and in the next part we're going to be adding displacement and procedural texture to the donut and push the realism even further. So I will see you in that video.
So
this tutorial series is brought to you by
the way that you have to save that is really annoying. Alright, we'll worry about that later. Carry on.
Polygon. Make better renders faster. Yay, and welcome to another edition of Donuts Will Haunt Your Dreams Soon because they haunt mine. I've been thinking about nothing else for 3 weeks other than donuts. I'm actually dreaming of donuts, so that's no joke. Anyways,
Alright, where are we
in the last video, we painted our donuts and it looks more donutty, but not enough. It still looks like something you see out in early Pixar movie because there's no detail to the surface of that donut. If you compare it to reference photos of donuts, you can see all these like glistening bits that are sticking out and like bumps and little crevices and dark patches and all that good stuff. And that is the perfect thing, not for painting, but for procedural texturing. So with your donut selected, we're going to go into the shading mode, which is this mode right here.
Hi, this is the
it should be look mode when you're on shading.
This is the thing that just does not work very well in Eevee. Okay, procedural displacement.
And by the way, this, I didn't know explain what look depth mode is, but solid view mode is the same mode you see when you're in like layout mode, like this view. And then look depth mode is actually using the Eevee renderer to preview your material that you've got active with an HDR. So it's using the HDR that's available here, which is basically like a template light and reflections for it. So look depth stands for look development. So it's the perfect shade for previewing material, so you can work faster, having to set up lights and everything. It's just like it's there and it's awesome. So when you're in shading mode, it should already be there in look depth mode, but just telling you it's not. Anyways, okay, so let's put that at the top there, and then here we have our node itself. Okay, so right now all we've got is just that image texture that we painted, and that's going straight into our base color there. So what we want to do is we want to add in a procedural text. Procedural means it's like computer generated. So to do that, we're going to go Shift A, and then where it's got texture.
I don't know, fiddle with his texture a little bit because, like, he's got a bit. In fact, I haven't changed the roughness of this at all, and he's got a little bit less roughness, and it looks nice. That's a bit better. Yeah, that's looking more donutty, and I think that'll make the final thing look good.
Image texture we want to use before, that's obvious. And the one we're looking for is noise texture. So we add that, and then we'll put this guy in here. And if we want to look at what this is going to look like on our mesh, the best.
Alright, we wanted, what's that? That's shading. We want that one. So just get him lined up.
The way to do that is to actually use an add-on that comes with Blender. So if you go to Edit Preferences, and then underneath the add-on section, search for Node Wrangler, and then just check the box next to it, and that will enable it. And then, once you've done that, you can Control Shift left click on that node, and it will preview it over your model. Right, we'll just hide that stuff. There we go. And there you go, so you can see that's what the texture is doing. So that's the default like color input, but you control shift click on it again. You'll do the next input down, which is the FAC or factor, and that's black and white. So what we're going to do is use this black and white cloud texture to drive the bumpiness of our.
Alright, let's add a noise texture.
Our material as well as the color and contribute to it in that way. And it's a very common way of just adding like free detail to objects. But before we do that, one thing to note looking at the donut here with this texture, the texture is kind of stretched. Like there's more detail across this surface, but less this way. And that's because of the way that this is mapped onto it right now. It's not using UVs or anything like that. But the best way to change that is by adding in a Shift A vector mapping. No, hang on. Texture coordinates. That's the one. Texture coordinate node. And if we take the object output and drop that into the vector input, this is now going to use the object data, which is actually most appropriate for like procedural textures. Anyway, now that on that, if we increase this.
Now is it object info? No.
Scale this. We should see pretty standard detail everywhere without anything like most appropriate for like procedural textures. Anyway, now that on that, if we increase the scale of this, we
texture coordinate. So add input texture coordinates. Now what did he use?
Detail everywhere without adding like more or less detail in places. So that's good. Okay, so looking at this cloudy texture here, yeah.
Into vector.
I mean, let's just set this to 300. That looks fine. And let's start by making this affect the bump of our material. So to use bump mapping in Blender, there's two ways of basically contributing to bump. There's bump, which is kind of like fake bump, and there's bump, which is real bump, and that's actually changing the shape of the actual mesh. And that's the one we want to use for this. So that's called displacement. So I'm going to take this, output of this, and I am going to add in Shift A vector, and the vector displacement. So drop this in here, and what I want to do is and that's actually changing the shape of the actual mesh. And that's the one we want to use for this. So that's called displacement. So I'm going to take this, output of this, and I am going to add in Shift A vector, and the vector displacement. So drop this in here, and then what I want to do is I want to take the factored output of that and put that into the top of the height. And then I want to take that displacement and put that into the.
Alright, I'm going to have to get a bit bigger here so I can actually see what he's doing.
Bottom of our material output right there. Shift A, mesh. And that's the one we want to basically contribute to the bump. There's bump which is kind of like fake bump, and then there's bump which is real bump, and that's actually changing the shape of the actual mesh. And that's the one we want to use for this. So that's called displacements. So I'm going to take this, output of this, and I am going to add in Shift A vector, underneath vector displacement. So drop.
Okay. Add a vector displacement.
This in here, and what I want to do is I want to take the factor output of that and put that into the top of the height.
Now, am I going to have to bite the bullet and switch over to cycles for this to actually work? I think I will. So that looks like it's displacing more than it was.
And then I want to take that displacement and put that into the bottom of our material output right there. Okay, now by default, we're still looking at this noise texture here, but if we Control-Shift-click on our just main shader, the principal shader, we should now see
the effect
of that on our mesh. Now, currently we can't because we're actually in look dev mode, and it's kind of like not showing us the detail very well, but in render view mode, you can see with actual light that has like shadows and everything, you can see the effect that it's having.
All right, let's put our donut texture color back into that. Okay, yeah, that's looking pretty good. Let's get rid of this tablet so I can actually move around. Okay, what else? We'll turn on the planes so we've got an environment, although that might slow down rendering a bit.
And again, this clipping thing, it's going to drive me crazy. And my screen key's still turned off. Not that it really matters for this part, but anyways. Okay, so that's the kind of bump that it's got over our mesh. And that looks pretty good. It's not bad. But you'll see that it's not changing the, like if you look at the edges of the object are changed. So when you're doing it just like this is actually the fake bump way. It'll be the same as if you put it into the normal input for those who know what that is. But by default, this is what it's doing. So it's a fake bump. But if we want to make it so that it actually is displacing the shape of our mesh, we want to change right down here. Underneath your settings, you want to change the displacement from bump only to displacement and bump. And before I do that, let me just Control-Shift and save because...
Okay. So, in here, no. In here, no. What is in here? There's a modifier.
I'm using experimental build only to displacement and bump. We want to change right down here. By default, this is what it's doing. So it's a fake bump. But if we want to make it so that it actually is displacing the shape of our mesh, we want to change right down here. Underneath your settings, you want to change the displacement from bump only to displacement and bump. Before I do that, let me just Control-Shift.
All right, so displacement and bump. Let's get you back in. Let's put baby in a corner. Okay, so over here in settings, displacement is displacement and bump. Oh boy. Huh. Combination of interesting.
And save because I am using a experimental build. Okay, there we go. So when you do that, what it's going to do now is it's actually displacing the donut. And hey, anybody order a porcupine? The reason is it's the scale of it. This is the height of the bump, that value there. Way too high. So we're going to set this to 0.01. Let's see how that looks. There we go. So you can see now, looking at the edge of it, at the edge of the donut, it's actually physically displacing. You can see that looks a lot more realistic than before. This is with bump only, and then this is with displacement and bump. Now I think scale at 0.01 is still too high. Let's go 0.02 perhaps, or 0.03 perhaps, something like that. That's okay. And by the way, this is using the mesh to displace it. So it will depend, the look of your displacement will depend on the number of vertices that you've got here, the amount of detail. If you don't have enough detail and you want to add more, you can just go to the modify stack and add in a new subsurf modifier like this. And then you would see like smoother, like less spikes. If you see like lots of spikes, it's generally a sign you've got like not enough vertices for it to play with. So you might want to add a subsurf modifier in there.
All right, so let's see if we can do that. I mean, that's looking pretty good already, but is this modifiers? Modifiers. Donut. Subdivision surface. I mean, do I have enough vertices? Oh, we can't tell because it doesn't actually show us. It does show us in that mode, so that should be enough vertices, surely. We'll drop it down in the viewport just so we're not dying.
But anyways, that's not bad. Now, what I actually want is for like really, really small detail. So I'm going to crank this scale up to 1,000. Let's go 115. No, 15,000. 1,500. There we go. something like that.
Because settings,
this is a good little primer.
Rendering is so slow.
But in the next video, because I want to keep these relatively short, we're going to add in another procedural text. We're going to combine it, and we're going to make it contribute to the color map as well. And then
I was a bit worried that it wasn't actually working. Because now I've scaled it all the way down like that. I actually thought it was alright at the previous scale. I feel like in the past I've experimented with doing like multiple levels. Maybe it's something that he does. Let's lower that. And let's raise that. Let's make it a little more obvious where it's bumping. Maybe that's too much. Yeah, that's too much. Now that I can actually see it. And of course, yeah, one of the problems is that this modifier in the viewport really needs at least one more level of that to actually subdivide sufficiently. I think. Right, carry on.
Level 2. So click here to watch the next part, and I'll see you there. This tutorial series is brought to you by...
Right, and I'll put my icing back on and we can have a look at this right before the very end. If I can find my icing. Hey, it's not bad. Let's get out of that mode, layout, and whoa, that one please, and hit F12 and wait for the cycles to run to that while we watch
by Polygon. Make better renders
the
faster.
final part of this.
And welcome to the final part of level 2.
Level 2.
Oh, sad little tear. We've been so many places. It's looking okay. You know, the last part we added in some small scale detail, but now we want to add in some larger scale detail to go without small detail, and then also make it impact the color map. So first, the large scale detail. Looking at reference, you can see that this is what we're trying to create, right? Like, we've got not just like small little bumps across it, but also larger bumps, like pimples. I don't want to call them pimples, but that's what they kind of look like. So the cool thing is about working with nodes, and the reason that so many artists love them, is that you can do so much with them. They take a little while to understand. Like at first glance, they're confusing, but once you realize that it's almost like programming. It's like taking this attribute and putting it into that attribute, and you know, it's fun. It's actually like creative. Like from an artistic perspective, you can do a lot with nodes. So what we can do is we can duplicate this noise texture, take the output of the object input, same one's there, and let's Control Shift click on that using Node Wrangler. We can do that, and then I'm going to set the scale to 200, right? And this is going to become our large scale bumps, right? Now, if we were to take the output of this and just put that into the displacement there, you would see that yes, it's connected to the displacement, but it has overridden this one, right? The small scale one. Let me just things get a little bit squishy on a screen when you're trying to show two things at once. But yeah, you can only put one in there, right? It just
stop rendering this for a while. Oh, it's nearly done. We'll let it finish. I mean, it looks pretty good. It's really unsurprising, seeing as it's off the tutorial. Okay, so
overrides and kicks the other one out. So
I was right. I have done this before. It's because it's in the tutorial. So for those of you who have just skipped to this section, this is the second time going through this because I did it a while ago before we put out level 3, and then immediately forgot everything. And since I actually need to know this,
so because
we're doing it again.
Values, this is actually very easy to do. So what we're going to do is add in a mix RGB node. So if we go, this is Shift A. Ah, man, always turns off. There we go. Shift A, and then go to color, mix RGB, and we're going to drop this in right here. And we're going to make sure we're taking the factor input of both of them, not the color. It wants to use the color, but don't let it. The factor input of both, and I'm going to put them in like so. Now, if we Control Shift click on the mix shader, this is what the mix is outputting right now. If the factor amount here is set to 0.
All right, so let's see. Duplicate that one, and then object goes into the vector of that one. Then we add a mix node. I don't remember what it was. It was just a mix.
These are black and white values. This is actually very easy to do. So what we're going to do is add in a mix RGB node. So if we go, this is Shift A. Ah, man, always turns off. There we go. Shift A, and then go to color, mix RGB, and we're going to drop this in right here. And we're going to make sure we take the factor input of both of them, not the color. It wants to use the color, but don't let it. The factor input of both, and I'm going to put them in like so. Now, if we Control-Shift-click on the mix shader, this is what the mix is outputting right now. If the factor amount here is set to 0, it's going to be using 100% of the top input, which in this case is the small detail. If it's set to 1, it's going to be using 100% of the bottom input. And that's not good because we actually want both of them, but doing a blend isn't also the answer. Those of you that know, image software though, knows that you can change a blend type and it can be more than just like one or the other. So if you set this to add, what it's going to do is it's going to take the bright values from this texture and then apply over the top of the values on the other texture. So that should be exactly what we want. If we turn the factor all the way up to 1, then it should have that kind of look. So,
all right, I'm going to have to switch this back to Eevee for a little while so I can actually see what the hell I'm doing.
The small detail and then the larger detail sort of punching through it. So I'm going to Control-click on that shader there, and that's the look that we have right now. Now this isn't, it's maybe better, but it's still looking quite fake, right? It just looks like you've got more detail, but it's all just kind of like mashed in together. And what we want is like very clear like lumps, like whoop, 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 like big bumps. So if we look at the factor input, we can kind of see why this is happening, because we haven't just got the white values, we've also got all different shades and things in between it. Well, if you remember, like when we worked with the color ramp node before with sprinkles, that can change, it can transform a value. Color ramp node is beautiful. We use it a lot, especially for things like this. So if we go Shift-A, converter, color ramp, and if we drop this between our large scale detail and our add node, then let's just Control-Shift-click on so we can just see what it's looking at. If I only want to have those white values, I don't want to have too much of the other stuff. If I bring in this black slider there, then we'll get exactly that. We'll only get the top values. And then, assuming that this is, oh gosh, what's it actually doing now? Okay, it looks a little confusing, but I'll show you that the final node set up at the end so you can copy it. But anyways, now if we have a look at the add node, this is what we should be looking at. So now you can see there's a clear division. We've got the small detail and the larger detail. And now, let's have a look at the final shader.
So what do we want? We wanted a color ramp, so... I don't like this kind of noise. It doesn't look very good.
And you can see it looks a little bit cleaner, right? Now you can turn, if you feel that the small detail is a little too high, which I think it is, let's turn that down to a scale of about 0.02. Or the other thing you can do, like the bottom input is the one which is always controlled by this. The top input is always at 100%. So if you actually want, in this case, we want the large scale detail to be the one which is furthest out. So I think it actually makes sense to put the large scale detail in the top input.
Okay, we'll set it up like that. Why not?
And then actually use the slider to decide how much of the small detail to let through. And now I think that actually has a better control, because we can actually have that kind of lumpy look and then bring in as much small detail as we want. So this is like basically putting like an opacity on the small detail of like 70%. And that's kind of cool. I might actually turn that up to 2000 for the small detail. And I think that's pretty good. Not too shabby. By the way, I really can't hear it, but somebody is vacuuming. It's a Sunday. Come in here to do some work before I go off on my trip. So I have to work on Sundays. And then the cleaners are here, of course. But anyways, the bumps.
Okay, now we want to go back to displacing things and coloring things correctly. All right, so that's what Eevee thinks of this all, and it's vaguely acceptable.
It's good, and I'm actually I'm quite happy with this. I've tried like 50 different variations of how to make this donut, like the bump parts, how to make it look good. And I think this is one of the best. So yay, I'm glad it's worked for the tutorial. But it's right now it's only influencing the bump, and that would kind of be a waste, because most things in the real world, like if it's affecting the bump of this, it's also going to affect the color of it. Like if we look at the reference photo, you can see that wherever there is a bump, it's generally darker than the stuff underneath it. And I believe it's because it's further out, and therefore it's got like more surface area, and therefore it's going to be hitting more new oil, and therefore it's going to be like it's going to be cooked more than the stuff that's underneath it. That's my understanding of it. But anyways, so yeah, we could take the value of this. Actually, let's move this shader over so it's a little easier to understand. So this is the data that's contributing to the bumpness of it. So what we want to do is we want to drive this into the base color. But just like before when we were using the single...
So I mean, Eevee lets me preview this pretty well.
It'll only take one.
Well.
I don't want it to look like
so much faster.
Donut that was left in an Egyptian tomb for 2,000 years or something. I don't know. We wanted to... we want to...
Let's have a look on the cycles.
Right? So we're going to do that in the exact same way. So we're going to use a Shift-A mix RGB color node. So I'm going to drop this in right here. And what I want to do is I want to take the output of this and I want to put this into the factor input. Okay, so let's just move this along. I'm trying to get it all in the screen, but I also want you to be able to see the details of what I'm doing here. So this add is going into the factor input. Now the factor input, normally there's a slider there, right, which will control the opacity. But if you replace that and put something into the factor input, that's going to make it act like a mask. So it's going to make it use the black and white values of this to decide which parts of color 1 and which parts of color 2 to use, these inputs.
All right, so let's do that. Shift A, okay, and we want a mix RGB. Stick that in there. And then we want the output of the add to go to the factor. Let's switch back to Eevee so I can actually, work. Wait while you recompile the shader. We want that to be a nice orangey brown. Man, this would be unusable without Eevee. I assume that's what he's going for. And that looks pretty good. Let's try cycles again while I keep watching.
So the reason I'm doing it like that is that I can now make this, and you can see that this bottom value here is now becoming the values that are sticking out. So if I was to set this to a darker value like this, you can see that it's the exact effect that I want. But even better, this is why I've done it specifically this way, I can change this to overlay. And now it's actually affecting it. It's not just like a blanket, like, opaque, like painting on top of something else. It's also being tweaked by the values underneath it. So it's like saturating it, and it's essentially making it look like it's burnt, which is the look that we want. Ta-da! And there we have our lovely, crispy looking donut. If it looks a little too saturated, you could maybe dial it back, maybe make it look a little bit darker if you wanted to. You could tweak these values forever. Anyways, that is the finished node setup. If you want to copy my values, feel free. I would encourage you though to mix it up, and if you think you've got a better idea, go for it. Like learning and like venturing out and like stepping away from the tutorial path will really help you learn some of these and sort of solidify the methods in your brain, if that makes sense. And yeah, it'll help you learn a lot better. So definitely get creative and venture away from this, but I do want to show that. Anyways, guys, that is it. We've finished the donut. Yay! So this was obviously the first 2 levels, just focusing on the donut. Level 3, we are going to do a coffee mug, a glass coffee mug with coffee in it, and that's going to involve transparency, volumetrics, texturing, UV unwrapping. And then level 4, we're going to put both the donut, the coffee, we're going to add a brick wall, a counter table, as well as do like a little finished animation as well. So we're halfway through it, guys. I hope you will continue the series. Just because I know some people might be wondering why theirs doesn't look like mine, or like how can they improve it. I'll just quickly mention a couple of things that you can do to improve your donut. I think the big one is the sprinkles. Like the size of your sprinkles and the number of sprinkles can really make a difference. So experiment with that. Definitely experiment with it. And the distribution, the distribution of your sprinkles and like the size of them. I think a big ball that might help it look kind of cool. Something else I realized after we did the weight painting was when you're in weight paint mode, I realized it's probably very unusual that you would have a uniform, exact distribution of sprinkles all around the donut. It's kind of silly. So instead, I would suggest just like doing a couple of holes in it, right? Or areas where you would have less sprinkles than other parts, right? Because if you're sprinkling it with your hand, you're definitely going to get parts where there's going to be like way more sprinkles than others. So I feel like any variation and randomness you can add, the better. So that's something that you can do. There we go, looks a little bit more random, a little bit more interesting. And then the other thing is, of course, the material for the icing. Play with this. Like, I'm actually still not sure exactly what the correct value should be. I've gone through several iterations of it. I'm not sure if it should be like a stronger subsurface scattering, let more light through it, or less. So definitely play with it, play with the color schemes. That's definitely going to help you. And then also, if you find that when you did the texture painting, if at the end of it you realize that you've got like too much of the white is coming through, like if you overdid the white painting, which is something that I did for the first few times I made the donut myself, a really quick fix, if you don't want to have to redo the painting, is right in between here, if you just add in a mix RGB node like this, and then you set the bottom value to just a blank, like uniform donut value, like that's original value that we had, right? That orangey kind of yellow value. Then this value here will decide like 0 is going to be 100% your original texture painting, and then any of this will kind of be like adding a solid color overlay in Photoshop. It's kind of like just adding that over the top of it. So you can like completely overpower your original texture painting if you want, or like a value in between it. But I happen to think mine looks okay. So that's the value that I am going to go with. And just for something completely silly to end on, because you made it to the end, guys. You made it to the end of level 2. Well, not the end. You've still got 2 more levels to go, but just something fun. And in the spirit of the old series, let's make this icing radioactive. So there's an emission value, in the material for our icing here. Icing selected. That's the one. Yep. So I can go emission. And if I turn that up to white, that's now going to be glowing white. And then I can make this any weird color that I wanted to. I can make it radioactive green, like, was it Homer? He was eating a donut that was radioactive green, wasn't he? Something like that. Something completely silly to end on. But thank you guys. I hope you will enjoy the next series. If you're watching this like live as I upload them, like to date, there's going to be a 2-week break because I'm going to Japan and Korea for a business and family trip. So there's going to be a break. Come back, you will be able to continue the journey of
where I ended up having to take a break.
Available, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.
All right, well, I'm going to pause you.
Yay.
Okay, I'm going to pause you before you get started.
You're in the thick of it now.
Yes, much like your new beard. I don't like it, he says, having a stubbly face himself. Okay, so that's pretty good. We got the little bump there shining through. We got the icing. We could mess around with the paint a bit. Why can I? There we go. Okay, so that thing. says the particles. No, it was weight paint mode. Object mode. So we want the icing. Particles. Does it make any difference if I just hit weight paint? So he said add some holes in the weight painting. So let's just disable the view for a second. Alright, let's see if that looks any good. I don't know. We'll have to go back into a rendered view. We need to get out of weight paint mode. It's pretty reasonable. I hit F12. Pops up pretty quickly, but that's the dodgy renderer. Let's try the proper one. I'll turn off that there so I can hit cycles there without killing everyone. And we'll just hit one final render. We'll see if this looks any good before we finish up the series. This particular stream, and we'll come back with another stream for level 3, which I haven't done yet. So this is like a retread so far of what I've already done, because basically I need to review what was going on because I'm rusty, obviously. Oh dear, we've got some donut peeking through our icing there. That's completely unacceptable. Displacement, you have failed me. I'll have to do something about that. Huh. All right, well, we have to deviate from the tutorial slightly. Let's see what we can do. Let's switch out of cycles over to Eevee, do that. It's down here somewhere. And you can see the icing is very thin there, so we'll just inflate it a bit with sculpting, I think. Are we actually selecting the icing? Let's go to camera view. It's over here, isn't it? Inflate, please. We'll modify the particle settings so we're not viewing them. I need to smooth that out a bit. It's a bit awful. Smooth. Oh, I mean, okay, that's yeah, because that's got a bit of a chunk. Okay, back to layout, and all right, we'll have to change that and go back here. I have to re-render it in cycles. So F12 to render. Let's see if that worked out correctly. Remaining 2 minutes and 25 seconds. Very slow. All right, so we'll come back for the next section next. That's 5 parts. And so what have we got? We've got modeling, complete modeling, glass and liquid, realistic liquid, condensation. So I have a feeling that the modeling and the complete modeling is what we want in particular for my purposes. Yeah, it looks like that's coming through nicely. I'm not sure what that is there, but maybe I don't really care. But it's looking good now. It's not peeking through. So I think that'll do us for now. I'll finish this render and then we'll quit out. So I'll say thank you again for watching, and we'll come back later and continue on with level 3. Just finish this nice render, and then I can start going to bed because it's midnight. But I think that's looking pretty good. Cool. All right, thanks for watching.